Hello teacher and friends. Due to the COVID epidemic, we have practiced making products at home. From the products we make, we apply them to food, skincare products, and more. Today, Group 5 of Team 2 asked for permission to report on cheese and vinegar and how to do it. Invite you to watch. These are the members of Group 5 Team 2. Vinegar has been an important and widely used food in Asian and European cuisines. Usually people will ferment alcohol with a certain fruit to form apple cider vinegar, banana vinegar, pineapple vinegar, kiwi vinegar. Nowadays, people have gradually switched to using industrial vinegar, which is widely sold in supermarkets and shops. Vinegar overview. Vinegar is an acetic acid solution with a concentration of less than 8%, formed from the oxidation of ethanol, C2H5O, to acetic acid under aerobic conditions, under the action of acetic bacteria. C2H5O plus O2CH3COOH plus H2O. The concentration of acetic acid ranges from 2% to 8% depending on the type of vinegar. Tool. Bowl. Weigh. Knife. Jar. Spoon. Glass. Chopping board. Smartphone. 3. Material. Dragon fruit, sorai, longan, rambutan, potato, watermelon, rice, peel, longan, rambutan, potato, watermelon, apple, chili, lemon, pumpkin, rice water, banana, pineapple, potato, persimmon. After preparing according to the ratio, remove in turn ingredients: sugar, water, alcohol. Close the open lid. We created vinegar product. Here is the banana vinegar. The banana sample was made on September 23rd, but by October 18th began to form vinegar. Because alcohol much inhibits the growth of microorganisms. The banana sample is actually gentle on September 27th, until October 18th, the film is thicker, is forming vinegar, broth, mild sour taste. The banana vinegar sample dated October 11, 2021, after shaking and removing the discarded board, still appeared the upper layer of the board, possibly due to bacillus bacteria infection, and on October 18, the layer of this board became thicker. Banana, on September 24, 2021, after 17 days, a white, tough layer appeared, which is vinegar. Compare. For the banana vinegar samples of Nhom2 and To5, the vinegar appeared and was not infected, and the vinegar became thicker and thicker. As for your banana vinegar sample, THCN has been infected with bacillus bacteria and has not been able to get on the vinegar. Some kind of vinegar with other ingredients. Samples of dragon fruit, sorai, longan, rambutan from October 1st to October 5th appeared plank due to yeast infection. On October 5th, after 6 days of shaking, vinegar began to appear, and until October 18th, vinegar was thicker. Dragon fruit samples from October 1st to October 5th appeared plank due to infection with pseudofilamentous yeast and bacillus on October 5th, then after 13 days, the infection continued. The sorai samples from October 1st to October 5th appeared plank due to infection with pseudofilamentous yeast and bacillus. On October 5th, after 6 days of shaking, vinegar began to appear, and until October 18th, vinegar was thicker. Peel samples, rambutan, longan, watermelon, potato, from October 1st to October 5th appeared plank due to bacillus infection. On October 5th, after 6 days of shaking, vinegar began to appear, and on October 18th, vinegar was thicker. Potato samples from October 1st to October 5th appeared planks due to pseudofilamentous yeast infection on October 5th. After shaking, after 13 days, air bubbles appeared due to alcohol fermentation to create CO2. Rambutan samples from October 1st to October 5th did not appear on October 5th. Shaking after 13 days there was still no change. The water was cloudy because the sample was too sweet. The rice samples from October 1st to October 5th did not appear on October 5th, but after 13 days there was still no change due to too many samples. Watermelon samples 1/10 to 5/10 appeared plank due to yeast infection on October 5th. Shaking, after 13 days, the pieces began to sink. Samples labeled 1/10 to 5/10 appeared plank due to yeast infection on October 5th. Shaking on October 5th, after 6 days, the chip disappeared and on October 18th, the board formed again. The rice go water sample observed on October 1st, with white planks. The rice sample cooled on October 18th, appearing a layer of opaque, chewy white planks, opaque white water. The orange peel sample does not have a phenomenon, the water is pure, has the aroma of essential oils. The October 11th mango sample has a white plank on the surface of the mango piece. When shaken, the board dissolves, there appears air bubbles due to the fermentation of alcohol that forms CO2. On October 18th, the board was thicker due to bacillus infection. Samples of rice water and banana peels, appearing a chewy film, forming vinegar. Sample includes 300 grams of ingredients: banana, apple, longan, 750 ml water, 200 ml wine, 50 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 25, 2021. Pictures on October 2nd and October 5th began to appear vinegar and gradually thickened. Sample includes 300 grams of ingredients: pineapple, persimmon, 750 ml water, 200 ml wine, 50 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 25, 2021. Figures on October 2nd and October 5th began to appear due to infection with pseudofilamentous yeast and infection with bacillus bacteria. Sample includes 100 grams of raw materials: corn, 750 ml water, 200 ml wine, 50 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 25, 2021. Pictured on October 2nd and October 5th began to appear due to pseudofilamentous yeast infection, and this layer is getting denser day by day. Sample includes 300 grams of ingredients: pineapple, mango, 750 ml water, 200 ml wine, 50 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 25, 2021. Pictures on October 2nd and October 5th began to appear due to infection with pseudofilamentous yeast and more bacillus infections. After being infected with pseudofilamentous yeast and bacillus, I started to remove the planks above the contaminated samples and shake them up. Picture of corn vinegar on October 11th and October 18th. After picking up the board, shaking it, it still reappears the fake filamentous yeast layer again. Vinegar, pineapple, persimmon, on October 11th and October 18th, after picking up the board, shaking it, adding 5 drops of lemon, it is still infected with pseudofilamentous yeast or infected with bacillus bacteria. Vinegar, pineapple, mango, on October 11th and October 18th, after picking up the board, shaking it, adding 5 drops of lemon, the vinegar sample is still infected with pseudofilamentous yeast. Results taken on October 19th. Sample 1 implemented on June 9th. Ingredient: raw purple sweet potato 75 grams, pumpkin 25 grams, sugar 22 grams, water 657 ml, lemonade 92 ml. Calculated pH 6. Description: appears a thick, easy to tear white film with pumpkin crumbs floating completely on the surface. Air bubbles appear. A slight alcohol smell, no characteristic odor of vinegar. Sample 2 execution 9/9. Ingredient: purple sweet potato 41.3 grams, Sugar 12.4 grams. Water 250 ml. Lemon juice 60 ml. Calculated pH 5.5. Description: there is a thin white scum floating on the surface that floats completely on the surface. There are air bubbles appearing. There is an odor of alcohol. No typical smell of vinegar. Sample number 3. Ingredient: purple sweet potato 51.46 grams. Sugar 15.44 grams. Water 250 ml. Lemonade 136 ml. Calculated pH 5. Description: there is a lot of air bubbles appearing. The white layer floating on the surface is negligible. No alcohol smell. No vinegar smell. Sample for implementation of 9/9. Ingredient: purple sweet potato 45.6 grams. Sugar 13.68 grams. Water 250 ml. Lemon juice 92 ml. Calculated pH 4.5. Description: strong alcohol smell. Air bubbles appear. No vinegar smell. White film appears partially submerged in water. Sample includes 300 grams ingredients: cooked rice soaked in water, 700 ml water, 30 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 25, 2021. The picture on October 5 has begun to appear, but it is not clear. There are many air bubbles and a slight smell of alcohol. On October 10, the vinegar began to appear. The clarity was still air bubbles. The smell of alcohol began to fade. Shake it a few times. Picture on October 20th. A clear vinegar appears. There are still air bubbles. No smell of wine, but a distinctive sour smell of vinegar. Samples include 130 grams of ingredients: fresh chili, 700 ml water, 30 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 26, 2021. Pictured on October 4th. Black scum began to appear due to the material floating on the surface of the water exposed to the air, oxidized. Still appearing air bubbles but not much smelled rotten. On October 10th did not see the vinegar, but instead began to appear white and black scum, less air bubbles, slightly rotten smell. Shake it a few times. Pictured on October 20th. Black scum appeared and smooth film due to yeast infection with false filaments smelled rotten. Sample includes 300 grams ingredients: roasted rice, 700 ml water, 30 grams sugar. Implementation date is September 26, 2021. Picture on October 5. There are many air bubbles. No vinegar is visible and smell is slightly rotten and sour. On October 10, no vinegar appeared. The air bubbles still had a strong rotten smell. Shake it a few times. The picture on October 20th still does not see the vinegar. There are still air bubbles with many strange smells but not as strong as October 10. Label: made on September 24, 2021. After 17 days, a small, tough white dot appears. That is vinegar. Potato: on September 24, 2021. After 17 days, a white scum layer appeared due to bacterial infection. Sweet potato: on September 24, 2021. After 17 days, a white scum layer appeared due to bacterial infection. Apples: date of implementation September 24, 2021. After 17 days there is still no vinegar but still smell sour, because part of the apple is floating on the water, so it is oxidized leading to rot. Lessons learned: too much alcohol will inhibit fermentation. Using sweet and sour fruits will ease the vinegar making process. Using essential oils in the citrus family will increase antibacterial ability. When infected with bacillus and yeast, shake to break the infected membrane, creating favorable conditions for acetic bacteria to grow. During the vinegar fermentation process, it is necessary to leave the lid open to provide enough O2, because acetic acid fermentation is an obligatory aerobic fermentation process. Avoid letting raw materials float to the surface of the water because exposure to the external environment is damaged and rotten due to oxidation. The appropriate temperature of Acetobacter bacteria is from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is too low, the vinegar will ferment slowly, and the high temperature will inhibit the fermentation process. Here is the application from vinegar that I made. The first is to make homemade vinegar salad. Step 1. Ingredients include carrot, cucumber, vinegar, apple, banana, longan, white radish, sugar, monosodium glutamate, celery, peanuts, herbs, boiled meat. Step 2. Preliminary ingredients. Make salad dressing with ratio 1:1:1:1. 2 tablespoons vinegar, 2 tablespoons sugar, 2 tablespoons fish sauce, 2 tablespoons monosodium glutamate, garlic, chili. Carrots, radishes, cucumbers, celery are sliced and then soaked with 50 ml vinegar, 2 tablespoons sugar. Step 3. Mix ingredients. I proceed to mix the ingredients together in order. Step 4. As a result, we have a delicious salad made from vinegar. Pickled radish is a traditional dish of Vietnam, used with dishes, increasing the flavor of the dish. Pickled radish is made as follows. 1. Cut radish into bite-sized pieces, wash, 500 grams. 2. Use salt for the radish. 3. Add water and soak for 2 hours. 4. Radishes are tough, not broken. 5. Wash off. 6. Add 150 grams of sugar. 7. Mix well until the sugar dissolves. 8. Make sure to get the cherries vinegar water. 9. Cherry vinegar 150 ml. 10. Add 150 ml of cherry vinegar to the radishes, 200 ml of regular vinegar. 11. Pickled radish products have a pleasant scent. Vinegar can be beautiful. Vinegar soaked with aloe helps to tighten pores, whiten skin. First, wash aloe vera. 2. Soak with salt water for 45 to 60 minutes, rinse with clean water. Drain and drain for 1 night. Let the oil dry, avoid scum when soaked with vinegar. 3. Peeling. Put aloe vera in a glass jar. 4. Mix with salt and sugar, 1:2. 5. Pour vinegar over the aloe vera. Close the lid tightly. Applications from vinegar. Make a dish of beef dipped in vinegar. Use vinegar to remove the fishy smell from beef.
Cheese is one of the products made from milk, which is a product made by freezing and fermenting dairy products that can be cow's milk, goat's milk, sheep's milk, or other animals. After freezing, the solid part will be separated and compressed into many different shapes, which is cheese. The group of lactic acid bacteria that help ferment: Streptococcus, Lactobacillus, general ingredients, milk, probiotics. So the fermentation creates cheese. Fermentation of contract formation as group of bacteria of lactic contract form as Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactobacillus bulgaricus, then cycle. The road classification is the process moving goods glucose into acid lactic. Means the total general of the process of fermentation co-image. Fermentation casual style. As same leuconostoc will move goods glucose cyclic process pentose phosphate create the acid lactic acid and ethanol, CO2, and the quality of flavor cheese. In the process of fermentation horror picture, beyond the creation of acid lactic also create the quality aromatic for cheese, diacetyl, acetoin, acid evaporation. Mechanical processing of fermentation with microorganisms lactic, lactose lactic acid, reduce the pH of milk to make up capacitor casein, equals the process is often taking place slowly, tools, cutting board, patch, cloth, foam box, tray, knife, container, pot, thermometer, stove, towel, types of milk that the group used, TH2 milk, full cream, pasteurized, cow's milk. The yeasts used, Probio, Synbiose, Lacticus, yogurt, Latiol, Lactamin, Biolactamin, implementation process. Heat milk at about 40 degrees Celsius, mix the yeast packet with warmed fresh milk, cover tightly, add probiotics and incubate at 39 degrees Celsius for 12 to 15 hours. After incubation, no butter layer appears equals, continue cheese making process. Photos after brewing with yeast of the members. Heat milk at a temperature of 80 to 90 degrees Celsius, separate casein. To make milk florets, you can add a little salt for better precipitation. Pick up the milk flour, pour it into a smooth cloth bag, and let the water flow naturally. Pictures of milk flowers of the members. Squeeze whey filtered casein blocks into cakes. Photos after pressing of the members. Cut into pieces and dry in the sun. Whey with added sugar. Keep refrigerated. Result. The members cheese after drying. Conclusion: depending on the milk used, cheeses with different colors, odors, and states are obtained. Lesson learned. Sweet is due to sugary milk. Salty is due to putting a lot of salt. Lesson learned. It is recommended to use milkshake to separate the butter because the milk has not been homogenized. Drying in the sun will help the cheese dry faster, without mold. Moisture-loving. Instruments should be disinfected to avoid contamination. Salt is a strong electrolyte. It attracts water molecules towards it, making the casein dry. So when adding salt, you should put some. Thank you for watching.